Hi, my name is Afraid Samantha, and today's session welcomes you at Success Africa with Ethan Mussolini. He's an HR consultant, an author, a public speaking coach, and a communication speech director and activist. You're welcome, Mr. Ethan.
Thank you. How are you, Samantha?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm super good and outstanding. Thank you.
That's nice. You look good today.
Thank you. So are you?
Thank you. So today we're going to talk about career growth. Okay. So let's start. What's really motivated you to come into career growth?
Well, so first of all, I noticed that in terms of my life, when I was at the university, that's when I decided to become a motivational speaker. And fast track to today, because I made that decision in 1998, so that should give you an idea as to how young or how old I am. And through intention and focus and working on myself, I've managed to carve out a career for myself, partly as a motivational speaker and coach. I've been in 25 countries. So I noticed that indeed there is a gap, because there are people who think that life will just happen to them. Life doesn't happen to you. You just have to create life. And that means being intentional in terms of your career, to say this is where I want to be and this is how I intend to get there. So meaning you have a plan and you execute that plan. So I noticed that for a few people that I would coach, especially in public speaking and career planning and moving to life and career development, they see themselves progressing, some of them in as little as a few months. So that caught my attention. I said, you know what, I need to pay attention to this area to help people with their careers, because that if people knew better, they would do better. Some people do not take the right decisions, not because they are bad people, but because they don't have the wisdom, the knowledge, the tools, the skill sets, and the right mindset. So I've noticed that those who have the right skill set, mindset, tool sets, and habits, they almost always make it. But when you become better, you attract better opportunities.
That's nice. Yeah. So what are your long-term career goals?
Well, it is to impact the world. I would, my books have sold in the region, in the African region. I would want them to be global, to have international bestsellers. I would want to reach at least 1 billion people and to compete at the global stage, such that, because sometimes I see speakers out there earning 10 times more what I'm earning based on our economy and all that, I'm thinking, I need to go to that level. So for me, operating at the global level, international bestseller, impacting at least 1 million lives with a positive message that uplifts them mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and other ways, that would be my career goal.
That's nice. So what skills would you want to develop in your career achievements?
In my career achievement, well, I would want to develop more sales and marketing, especially marketing. I believe I'm a great salesman. I can sell ideas. It's nice. Marketing, branding, that's one. The other one would be project management. I'm not yet very strong. That's an area I believe I can improve. Project planning and management, events, such that how can we put events that are successful, that at least break even or even make much more in terms of profits. So that's part of what I see for me.
Okay, so Ethan Mussolini and Success Africa, are they two different organizations?
Well, I wouldn't say two different organizations, but they are different brands. So Ethan Mussolini is known for something, so is Success Africa. Even though I'm the team lead, I'm the CEO at Success Africa, co-founder of Success Africa. And Success Africa, by the way, is about human resource consulting, training, and our vision is to help individuals and organizations to realize their greatness much faster than they would have without us. So Success Africa as a brand is mainly about training and consulting in the HR space. Okay. Now, Ethan Mussolini as an individual is mainly about motivational speaking, then coaching and to be specific in the areas of public speaking, executive communication, life and career development. That's part of what Ethan Mussolini does. Of course, I'm a writer. And part of my brand is that I'm also father and husband, father of two amazing, beautiful daughters and one beautiful and brilliant wife, who is a woman. Yeah.
That's amazing. You being a family man, how do you think, how old are your two beautiful daughters?
As of this recording, my firstborn is 10, my secondborn is 7.
Okay, so how do you think that you want your two girls to follow the same path, or you feel they can do something better?
That's a good question. My coach told me, Ethan, your job is to help your daughters to be more successful than you, to be better than you. So do I want them to follow my path? Yeah, yes and no. What do I mean? Yes, in a sense that if their hearts are sold to this, I'm very open to that. I would welcome them. No, in a sense that I will never force my children to do that which they don't want to do, especially in their careers or their life partners. Those are things that I really detest about parents literally forcing their children. It's okay to encourage, it's okay to advise, but literally forcing, no. I don't believe in that, because when you force people to do something that is against their will, then they act and behave from a place of resentment. I want to have a healthy relationship with my daughters beyond resentment. And so, yeah, if I can see one of them is really keen, they love going around with me and selling books, they love being around daddy. I pray that they stay like that, because then I would know that one of the family members is going to do that. But I foresee at least one of them seems to be very keen on what I do, and I anticipate they will go into that space also.
Okay, that's beautiful. Our dear viewers have, some people have a wrong image on motivational talks. Since it's motivational speaking, whenever they hear there is a seminar somewhere about motivational speaking, they think they're just going to motivate them, but it's not real. They think that world is not real. What do you say about motivational talks as a motivational coach?
Yeah, so for my belief, people should judge individuals or motivational speakers as they are.
Okay.
Because I ever had someone say that someone was talking, there's this famous line of motivational speaker saying that I started with just a feather and now here I have a poultry farm. And hopefully it's a joke, because I've never had that someone starting with a feather. And when such is said, it gives motivational speaking a bad report, a bad image, for lack of a better word. But think about it. Is there any profession that does not have people who do not perform according to the standards? None, to my knowledge. So every profession has people who are exceptional, has people who are average, has people who are poor. So sometimes we get people who are not performing to the standards or to the expectations, and then you say, oh, those motivational speakers. I don't believe in generalities. Women are, men are, Europeans are, Africans are. I believe those global conclusions are not accurate. I believe in looking at the individual in terms of who they are, and acknowledge them for who they are, or challenge them in terms of who they are. So I believe motivational speaking is very powerful. I'll give you a practical example. I was in the car and my wife was listening to an interview between Pastor Bugembe and Manuela Molondo.
Okay.
So Pastor Bugembe said something that really caught my attention. He said that Brian Molondo, who is the husband to Manuela Molondo, there's a time they met and then he told him, but you, they were speaking in Luganda, saying, but you, do you know you're underrating yourself? You're underlooking yourself. You are much more than this. And he said that he spoke to my bones. I'm quoting his words. He spoke to my bones. And it's like it gave him a totally different perspective of who he was. And here he is, a big star. As Pastor Bugembe, musician, I like his work, even though I don't follow his music very closely, but I like his work, his attitude and mentality. So why am I using that example? So it's very easy to pick out I started with a feather and here I am with a poultry farm. And we forget the millions and millions of lives that were transformed by a statement, by a book, by a speech. Those are so many. And in my view, it is an underrated skill. It is an underrated industry. And just because a policeman, misbehave does not make the whole police industry bad. No. Just because someone uses a knife to kill someone or to commit a crime does not make knives bad. It's how it is utilized. So in the same way, how we utilize this industry is up to individuals, not as an industry in general. Okay. Long answer, but it's something I'm very passionate about, and I'm glad you asked.
Get motivated in 30 seconds or less.
Yeah.
What motivates you? What is your priority when you're writing these books? Is it based on your personal experience, or you have where you get it somewhere?
A good question. So this book was actually my first book, and I really love it. I would sit down and wait for inspiration to write this. So I believe before that I had seen a book, something related to that, and it had these short nuggets, short but powerful nuggets. Like, would I need to be cool if I wrote one by myself? So it was based on what I had gone through, and I felt like I could write one. So I would sit. I was still single and skinnier than this. I had a lot of time on my hands, and it was really divine guidance on this book and it's a really powerful book. Because I recall whenever I would feel a little down, I would read 3 or 4 quotations and I'm up and running. It's not something I still do, but I used to do. So it was really to transfer what I have and see to motivate others, but also to motivate myself.
Very nice. Yeah. So what do you prioritize in your profession?
1 thing, 2 things, 3 things. What would you say?
Let's start with 3.
3.
Yeah.
Okay. So number 1 is God, because I know that everything is based on God's grace. I wouldn't be talking to you here without God's grace. So for me, that's very, 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 very important. Number 2 is my family and myself, of course. That's the second priority. And the third is what kind of impact am I creating out there in the world? So for example, I'm having this conversation with you. I could be out there doing several other things, but for me, this is very important, because then we have to, I feel it's a mandate on my part. This morning I was listening to a YouTube video by Alex Hormozi, and he was quoting either Jeff Bezos or Steve Jobs, either of them. I was talking about that there's a difference between mercenaries and missionaries. So missionaries, they are literally on a mission. They have a purpose to deliver something. Mercenaries, they're also on a mission, but the mission is, what can I get? Missionaries are, what can I give? So I'm on a mission. I'm a missionary also. I would equate myself in that space. I'm a missionary in the space of personal and career development. I see that had it not been someone mentoring me, a book here, an audio there, a CD there, a speech there, I wouldn't be where I am at. So that's what I see for me, in that number 3 is, am I creating impact? I recall even many, many years ago, what most people don't know is that for these TV programs I've had before, I was never paid a penny. And of course, if it comes now, I'll take it any day. And I'm looking forward to that also. But as of this recording, I've never, gotten a direct sponsor per se, but I would go there and say, I really want to share this knowledge. And that alone was so fulfilling.
Definitely. So your work is changing people's lives, impacting good in them. So as you're doing this, we're in a world whereby it's hard to make some people understand that what you offer to them at times as a volunteer is for the greater good. How do you handle constructive criticism and feedback?
Good question. There are people who say there's nothing constructive about criticism.
Yes, there is not, but
Yeah, so-
your weakness can be your strength.
Yeah, I hear you. So the point I wanted to make is in that I believe more in the word challenging feedback rather than constructive feedback. So I'm always open to feedback because I believe whoever gives you feedback, even if they are wrong, you learn something from them. And even if you don't learn something from them, it will remind you of something, it will awaken something in you. So I'm personally very comfortable with feedback. In fact, I tell my team at Success Africa that you'll never be victimized for speaking out the truth in the open, but you could be victimized for gossiping, for what I call corridor talk. We're in a meeting, we ask you, you don't say anything, and then we find you in the corridor.
You have a lot to
That
say.
I cannot entertain. That's hypocrisy. So for me, lies, hypocrisy are non-negotiable. I don't like that at all. I hate them with a passion. So there are a couple of things I do and I recommend. Number one is, okay, what are they really saying? 2, what am I learning from this? 3, what can I do based on the knowledge I've gotten from them? 4, what can I start with? Because there could be 5 things, but you can't start all the 5 things at a go unless there is a way, because there could be a way. You have a bunch of money and the solutions required is related to money, then you could solve everything in one go. But so for me, it's very, very critical when I think about that, when I think about it, in that it's an opportunity for growth, to learn, to expand, and also you get to know about the other person giving you feedback. You get to know. I'm always against people who resist feedback. Instead, welcome it. In Uganda, there's a saying, that directly translated that if a fly loves you so much, it will land on your wound, and then once you feel that pain, it will be a reminder for you to work on that wound. So I might be having a wound that I'm not seeing, but the other party is able to see that. And in case they are wrong, it's okay. I would still thank them for the courage and the candidness to share something with me rather than keeping it to themselves. So that's how I handle feedback.
That's it. Speaking of feedback, how open are you to? Okay, not how open are you. What kind of portals do you use to welcome feedback? How do you get feedback from your audience, from the people you write to, from the people that read your books?
Well, I have social media platforms, so I get that feedback too. There's the people who call me or email me, but mainly on social media and then face-to-face meetings. Oh, you said this and it transformed my life. Oh, you came to our workplace, you did this, or you said this and it really impacted me big time. It's usually face-to-face, social media. I would say those are the 2 biggest ones. Yeah.
Social media has a lot of impact here, both positive and negative. But let's say the people that you get feedback from face-to-face, one-on-one, what if it's a negative feedback? It's very hard to adhere to that, especially when you already get positive feedback. Like, let me say, one of your books, Get Motivated in 30 Seconds or Less.
Yeah.
And someone has negativity towards it, and this person you meet one-on-one and has negative feedback to this, how would you address that? Because some people have faced that and their reaction changes, and this affects your mental health. So how do you approach that?
I recall earlier we were chatting, and I remember saying something along the lines of, no one owes you support, no one owes you encouragement, no one owes you affirmation. And once you embody that, and I'm not 100% there, then lack of approval from others is not a big deal. It is who they are. I don't know what they're going through. So if they challenge me or question, well, that's number 1, they have a right. Number 2, they might have a point. Number 3, I might have an opportunity to grow. And number 3, they could be wrong, and it's an opportunity for me to also give them feedback. So, well, thank you for the courage. And at the same time, please take note of ABCD.
How do you approach networking in your professional relationships and goals?
So the way I approach networking is introduce myself, mention what kind of value I offer. And I believe that is a game changer. This is what I mean. There's a difference between, hi, my name is Ethan, and someone say, hi, my name is Joan, and we stop there. But when I meet someone, say, hi, my name is Ethan Mussolini, I'm a motivational speaker, human resource trainer, and I also coach people in public speaking and executive communication skills. So I introduced myself, for example, this morning, I was at Aristoc. We were out there early before the bookshop opened. So when I was going away, a gentleman was standing there. My heart told me, you say hello to him. So I went back and said, by the way, I didn't introduce myself. Say, hi, my name is Ethan Mussolini. I do motivational speaking, human resource training. I also coach people in public speaking and executive communication skills. And this gentleman said, yeah, we need your services. He's one of the co-directors for one of the biggest real estate companies in this country. So usually when I'm coaching people on how to introduce themselves, it's not just about, hi, my name is, and then you stop there. So what? Who's behind that name? What do they do? What problems do they offer? What opportunities can they help you to leverage and maximize? Then I believe that becomes very valuable. So that I feel I'm doing very well. The part where I believe I'm still struggling and could do much better is follow-ups and keeping those relationships functioning properly.
So basically, how you keep your networking is you have to keep adding value to yourself. Wherever you go, you have to mention what you do. You speak up.
Yes.
That's what you're saying. How have you had any mentors or role models in your career? Because already I'm very sure out there that people who follow you and you're their role model. But you as Ethan, do you have a role model?
Well, I would say mentors and coaches, role models, unfortunately not yet, which is weird. I've never thought about that. But mentors and coaches, those are many. But the person that I considered to be my hero was actually Nelson Mandela for some reason. Now, I've had, my first mentor was actually the late Dr. Gerard Serwaji, who at campus was preaching about never giving up. I felt like God telling me that's what we need in Africa, someone who can give people hope. So I went to him and said, can you mentor me? He said, yes. That will lead to a very transformational experience. I've had several coaches along the way, but as we speak, for the last 10 years, I meet my coach online over Zoom. Every Monday. We only miss 2 Mondays in a year. Okay. So, and don't ask me who that is. He's an exclusive person. He's a billionaire in terms of US dollars. So I contribute a certain amount, which is a lot by Ugandan standards, and then other billionaires contribute money for me to afford that service because it's a lot of money. A lot, okay? So I have that. And then I've had several mentors and coaches online in communications, in writing, marketing, sales, and the like. So my biggest expense actually is always learning, coaching, mentoring. That's where I spend most of my money. Okay. Not spend, but invest.
Invest.
Yeah.
Let's throw a little light on Success Africa. So this team, is it a team of youth or any age group goes to Success Africa?
No, it's a cross-generational team. We have some 20-year-olds, 25. Mm-hmm. I'm 47. We have others. So we have other consultants and associate consultants. We have people in their 30s. We have associate consultants who are in their 40s, 50s, 30s, 60s. Okay. So it's really broad. Yeah.
So I understand they come from...
And at Success Africa, we do human resource consulting and training mainly.
I understand they come from different categories of professions. How do you gather these people? Do they come to you or you look for them?
Both. So there are those who come to us, so you have opportunities, and then there are those we source them. Yeah. Okay.
What skills do you think are essential for success in your field?
Qualities and skill sets that are essential in my field. Number 1, communication skills. Number 2, sales and marketing. Number 3 is leadership, because if you can't put the team together, you'll be challenged. confidence and self-esteem, I wouldn't define it as a skill, but I would define it as a mindset. And the other one is influence and persuasion. Can you influence people? Can you persuade them? But besides the skill set, even more crucially is the word character. You have the character. Are you resilient? Do you have integrity? So I was having a chat yesterday with a futurist. So she said that there are things that keep shrinking. Skill sets, knowledge. For example, you are younger, but she mentioned something like C++ as a language in programming. So I don't know whether it's still there. But now there are other new technologies, new languages to utilize and use. So he said there are things that shrink, there are things that stay the longer haul. I said, for example, emotional intelligence skill sets, they will stay in the longer haul. So besides the technical skills, there's also these other priceless skills. Are you resilient? Are you creative? Are you a critical thinker? Are you solutions oriented? So I believe there is skill sets, but also mindsets that are very crucial. And some of those that I mentioned are.
Okay, as we wrap up, what do you think is the best thing someone should consider when they're choosing their career path?
Good question. In my view, purpose. At least I'm speaking for me.
Yeah.
For me, I looked for my purpose and I said, God, how can I make money out of this? And there are people whose goal is just money, and there's nothing wrong with that because we are wired differently. But personally, I believe to live a fulfilling life, you need to live within your purpose.
Okay. So it comes out of passion, love, and willingness to do something.
Yes.
Exactly. That has been Mr. Ethan Mussolini for you at Success Africa. And also, we would love to end here today with a very beautiful session with words of wisdom. I hope everyone has got something to learn. You don't need to take in everything. I feel you should just take in what you need, one step at a time. And with the words of wisdom we have had today, I believe wisdom is wealth. And I would love us to end here. Thank you so much.